Larissa, and I'm part of the ISEP Field Study Intergroup.
Hi guys, my name is Edward. I'm also part of the ISCP intern program.
Hi, I'm Zihan. I'm also a part of the Field Study Intern program.
Okay, perfect. And we're going to give you a quick rundown of what the student panel interview looks like. So to begin with, this is the usual setup. We have 4 tables lying around. On the right side, we'll have the interviewers, and on the left side, we'll have the interviewees. So usually everything should be set out by now. The the requirements, I guess, of materials is just the notepad, the pens, and then for the interviewers, you'll get a sheet that looks like this, as well as a grading sheet. And then keep in mind that the grading sheet is something for you to like actively be taking notes on. And there's a grading scale at the bottom of it from 1 to 5, where you'll just input like your overall numbers at the end. And don't worry too much about calculating it or everything. That's something that the professional staff that's going to be present with you can do. And yeah, just make sure to arrive 10 minutes before the interviews. They usually take place on the first floor of the student service building 2. You just want to make sure you look appropriate. So like any casual fit, just like jeans or anything, it's okay, just as long as it's appropriate. Usually have the interviewers go first. So you'll introduce yourself with your name, your pronouns, and your position. And then there's always going to be a slides in the screen right behind you. And after the interviewers have introduced themselves, we move on to the interviewees, who they'll just like, yeah, they'll just go ahead and introduce themselves. And then keep in mind that the sheet that's going to be presented to you is going to have the breakdown of the specific times, as well as like any other like cues that you might need to. And we just want to make sure that after the interviewees also introduce themselves, we want to just keep like a positive affirmation going. We just want to say thank you for sharing, and then we kind of go on to the next one. Okay, and so yeah, we just want to make sure that the interviewees also get a chance to introduce themselves, and then after that, they'll each get 2 questions, which they'll have about 5 minutes to 2 to 3 minutes to answer each individual question. And then again, the specific breakdown of the time is going to be presented to you in this sheet. As you can see, we'll each have a specific time for it.
Yep.
And then, yeah, moving on is the group activity.
Yeah, for the group activity, it requires the interviewees to come up with a workshop that can help incoming international students. So there are 3 parts of the group activity. In the first part, they will write down their thoughts about the workshop, this notepad, and then the second part, they will collaborate together to design the workshop and write all their processes. All their processes on this poster, and in the last part, they will share their thoughts from the poster to the interviewers, and they will have 3 minutes to do it. And during this process, as the interviewer, you need to actively listening to what they discuss and taking notes on the rubric, and then discuss which scenario questions will assign to which interview. And that's a quick guide of the group activity part. And the next part is scenario questions, and Edward is going to explain in detail.
Yeah, so what Zihan was mentioning, the second to last part of the interview process is going to be the scenario questions. And mainly what we're looking for is that we expect you guys to challenge the interviewees. Mainly to keep in mind is 2 key points when you guys are asking the scenario questions. The first one is going to be follow-up questions. We want to make sure that the answers that the interviewees are providing is something that's insightful and something that is also, satisfying to what we expect the interviewees to give to us. And so that's why when, when the interviewees don't give, I guess, enough information or something you want to clarify, we want to keep in mind that later on, after they answer the scenario questions, we want to follow up with another clarifying questions into what their answer is to be. The second key point is that we want to target each, or sorry, you want to keep in mind of the target goals that each scenario questions have. And if you go take a look at the document here, each scenario questions, they have a bracketed key goal, I guess you could say. And this is information that we as the interviewers will only have access to. And so this just kind of gives you an idea of who you want to target the interviewees to. So that's like, for example, like number 2, critical thinking and problem solving. As you take your time to learn more about the interviewees, you kind of want to figure out who do you think will be best suited to answer, let's say scenario question number 2 that can do, critical thinking and problem solving. That goes for each and any other of the scenario questions. So as the group activity goes on, I want you guys to just make sure to read the questions carefully and kind of, pinpoint which interviewers or interviewees you guys want to target for these challenging scenario questions. Finally, as we want to end the interview process, there is going to be the Q&A section. This is just going to take a few minutes, probably about 5 minutes just to debrief, where the interviewees basically have the opportunity to ask us, the interviewers, questions or ask questions to professional staffs. And yeah, so that is a quick rundown into the interview process, and good luck.